Hey everyone, welcome back. This week we've got some of the strangest news stories that will leave you scratching your head. Let's dive right in. Seriously folks, I was going through these stories and my jaw just kept dropping. I mean, you think you've heard it all, right? You think, okay, humanity, you've reached peak weird. And then bam, a new headline pops up and you're like, nope, there's more. So buckle up because Esmail's about to take you on a wild ride through the wacky world of news that sounds completely made up, but I promise you it's all real. Or is it? No, it is, probably. We've got everything from questionable choices involving wildlife, and I mean really questionable, folks. We're talking Florida levels of questionable to unexpected discoveries in the most mundane places. Think about your average Tuesday, right? You're making a salad, you're cleaning out the attic, and then wham! Life throws you a curveball that lands you in one of my monologues. I mean, one of Esmail's fantastic videos. We're even going to touch on politics, but not the boring kind. We're talking about the kind of politics where the best candidate might just have 4 legs and a tail. And, of course, what's a strange news roundup without a little peek into the great unknown? So get your popcorn ready, maybe grab a notepad to jot down your wait, what moments? Because there are going to be plenty, I'm telling you, some of these stories you're going to want to share with your friends just to see their faces. Esmail has curated the best of the bizarre, the cream of the crazy. The top tier, you can't make this stuff up headlines. Are you ready? I can't hear you. Okay, I know you're ready. Let's get this show on the road. First up, we're heading down to the Sunshine State, because where else would we start? All right, first up, get this. We're heading down to Florida. You know, Florida, the state that keeps on giving. If there was an Olympics for weird news, Florida would have a permanent gold medal. They'd have to build a whole new wing in the Weird News Hall of Fame just for Florida. I mean, you hear Florida Man and you just know something incredible is about to follow. It's like a prelude to pure, unadulterated chaos, a signal that reality is about to take a very strange detour. And folks, this story does not disappoint, not even a little bit. So picture this, a sunny day in Florida, palm trees swaying, the gentle lapping of water nearby. Sounds idyllic, right? Wrong. Because in this particular corner of Florida, a man had a plan. A truly, spectacularly, mind-bogglingly terrible plan. He wasn't planning a barbecue, he wasn't planning a fishing trip. No, this gentleman, whose name I won't mention because he's probably already famous enough, decided he wanted to share a cold one, a nice, refreshing beer. So far, so normal, right? Who doesn't enjoy a beverage on a hot day? But here's where it takes a sharp left turn into, what were you thinking? Territory. He wasn't planning on sharing this beer with a friend or a neighbor or even his dog, which, by the way, don't give beer to your dog, folks, come on. No, this enterprising individual decided his drinking buddy of choice was, wait for it, an alligator. Yes, an actual living, breathing, toothy, swamp-dwelling alligator. I can't make this stuff up, people. He looked at this prehistoric reptile and thought, you know what that gator needs? A PBR. Can you believe it? He actually tried to pour beer down the gator's throat. I mean, the logistics alone are baffling. How do you even approach an alligator with that kind of proposition? Excuse me, Mr. Gator, care for a sip? Do you offer it in a glass? Straight from the can? Does the alligator prefer a light lager or a hoppy IPA? These are the questions that keep me up at night, folks. The sheer audacity, the unmitigated gall. To think that this was a good idea, or even a remotely sane one. The reports say he was attempting to get the alligator drunk. Now, I'm no veterinarian, I'm not Steve Irwin, R.I.P., legend. But I'm pretty sure that's not good for the alligator. I'm also pretty sure the alligator was not amused. Alligators are majestic creatures, kings of the swamp, apex predators. They're not looking to get tipsy and sing karaoke. They're thinking about their next meal, probably. And I don't think inebriated human is high on their preferred menu, but who knows after a few brewskis. Naturally, this didn't end well for our Florida man. Someone saw this wildlife happy hour going down and thankfully called the authorities. Because, you know, harassing wildlife is generally frowned upon, especially when it involves alcohol and creatures with a bite force that could snap a canoe in half. The police arrived, and I can only imagine their conversation. Sir, are you trying to give that alligator a beer? The man was promptly arrested. I bet the alligator was like, finally! This guy's killing my vibe. His charges probably included something like illegal feeding of an alligator or attempted intoxication of a protected reptile. I'm not sure what the bail situation is for trying to get a gator tipsy, but I hope it involved a stern lecture and maybe some mandatory wildlife documentaries. You just know the other inmates were like, "What are you in for?" And he's like, "Tried to party with a gator." Instant legend, but not in a good way. The poor alligator. I hope it got some peace and quiet after all that. Think about the alligator's perspective for a second. It's just chilling, doing gator things, sunbathing, maybe eyeing a tasty fish, and suddenly this human approaches, reeking of hops and bad decisions, trying to force feed it a Bud Light. That gator is going to need therapy. It's going to be telling its gator buddies down at the swamp bar, "You will not believe the day I had." And they'll all just shake their scaly heads. Florida, man, Florida. What possesses someone to do this? Was it a dare? Did he lose a bet? Was he trying to create a new viral challenge, the gator beer chug? Please, folks, do not try this at home. Do not try this anywhere. Leave the alligators alone to do their alligator business. They have enough to deal with without us trying to turn them into frat boys. Let them enjoy their swamps, their sunshine, and their sober existence. So, the moral of the story is, if you see an alligator, admire it from a very, very safe distance. Do not offer it alcoholic beverages. Do not try to become its best friend. And if you're in Florida, just assume everyone is about to do something weird, and you'll rarely be disappointed. What a start to the show, right? It can only get stranger from here, or can it? Stick around with Esmail. All right, moving on from intoxicated reptiles to unexpected salad ingredients. Get ready for this one, folks, because it's the kind of story that will make you check your lunch very, very carefully from now on. We're heading to Texas for this next bit of bizarre news. You know, Texas, everything's bigger in Texas, including apparently the surprises in your takeout. This poor woman just wanted a healthy meal, a nice salad. Little did she know she was about to get a little extra protein. So this woman, let's call her Brenda, not her real name probably, but it feels like a Brenda story. She orders a salad, lettuce, tomatoes, cucumbers, maybe some grilled chicken if she's feeling fancy. The usual stuff. She gets home, or maybe she's at her desk at work, ready to enjoy her nutritious and delicious meal. She pops open the container, fork in hand, probably thinking about how good she is for choosing a salad over a greasy burger. We've all been there, right? That moment of self-congratulation before the first bite. She's about to dig in. Maybe she even has a forkful of lettuce heading towards her mouth, and then she sees it. Something is moving. Something is slithering. Yes, folks, nestled amongst the romaine and the radishes, there was a live snake. A living, breathing, fork-tongue-flicking snake in her salad. I mean, talk about a return to sender moment. I would have screamed. You would have screamed. The whole office would have screamed. Imagine the shock. 1 minute you're thinking about vinaigrette. The next, you're staring into the beady eyes of a reptile that definitely wasn't listed on the menu. I have so many questions. How did it get there? Was it a very, very fresh salad, straight from a garden with a particularly adventurous serpent? Did the snake just want some greens for itself? Maybe it was a vegetarian snake? Unlikely, but hey, this whole story is unlikely. The poor woman must have jumped 10 feet in the air. She described it as a small snake, thankfully. I mean, can you imagine if it was a python? Excuse me, waiter, I ordered the Cobb salad, not the Anaconda Caesar. But even a small snake is enough to ruin your appetite for, well, possibly forever. She probably looked at that salad container like it was a Pandora's box of creepy crawlies. What do you even do in that situation? Do you try to catch it? Do you just throw the whole thing out the window? Do you call animal control? Ghostbusters? I'm picturing her slowly backing away from the salad, maybe grabbing her phone to take a picture, because if you don't get photographic evidence of a snake in your salad, did it even happen? Her friends would never believe her. Brenda, you're always so dramatic. It was probably just a big earthworm. No, Carol, it had scales, and it looked at me with cold reptilian judgment. This is the kind of thing that makes you want to grow all your own food in a hermetically sealed biodome. The restaurant, of course, was probably horrified. Imagine getting that complaint. Hi, yes, I'd like to report an unauthorized topping on my salad. It was a reptile. They probably offered her a lifetime supply of free salads, and she was like, you know what, I think I'm good. Maybe I'll just stick to, like, soup from now on. Sealed soup from a can. This is why I have trust issues with pre-packaged greens, people. You just never know what tiny ecosystem is thriving in there. Think about the journey of that little snake. Was he just chilling on a lettuce leaf, minding his own business, when suddenly he was harvested, washed, hopefully, packaged and shipped off to become part of someone's lunch? That's a rough day for a snake. He probably woke up in that plastic container like, well, this isn't the compost heap, I remember. Talk about a rude awakening from field to fork with an unexpected passenger. This story is a good reminder to always inspect your food, especially the leafy bits. You never know what tiny creatures might be hiding in there, looking for a free ride or a leafy snack. It's one thing to find a caterpillar, that's almost quaint. A sign of organic farming, perhaps, but a snake, that's a whole other level of nope. That's a burn the kitchen down and order pizza level of nope. So next time you order a salad, maybe give it a little poke around with your fork before you dive in. You know, just a gentle reconnaissance mission. Check for any unexpected slithering, any uninvited guests. And if you do find a snake, please take a picture for Esmail's show. We love this stuff, but also, you know, be safe. Don't try to befriend it like our Florida man with the alligator. Just calmly alert the authorities or the restaurant or your screaming co-workers. All right, from the bizarre to the downright adorable, but still pretty strange, we're now heading to a small town in New York. And folks, this town has made a political statement that I think we can all get behind. They've elected a new honorary mayor, and this mayor is perfect for the job. Yes, you heard that right. A cat has been elected as the honorary mayor. I love this. This is the kind of news that makes you smile. Now, this isn't just any cat. This is a cat with charisma, a cat with presence, a cat that clearly knows how to win over the hearts and minds of the electorate. I'm picturing this cat on the campaign trail, you know, shaking paws or, bumping heads with constituents, promising more naps for everyone, longer sunbeam hours, and a crackdown on those pesky red dots. This cat, whose name is probably something majestic like Sir Reginald Fluffington III, or maybe just Mittens, is now the top cat in town. Literally. Imagine the town hall meetings. The new mayor just curls up on the warmest chair, occasionally purring its approval or flicking its tail in dissent. Mr. Mayor, what are your thoughts on the new zoning proposal? Mayor stretches, yawns, cleans a paw. A very insightful response, Mr. Mayor. I bet productivity has gone way up because everyone's just happier with a cat in charge. Who can argue with a purring ball of fur? It's genius, I tell you. Think about the political rivals. How do you even run against a cat? My opponent may be cute and cuddly, but does he have a 5-point plan for infrastructure? And the cat's campaign manager is just like, he has a 5-point plan for finding the most comfortable spot on your keyboard. Vote Whiskers. It's an unbeatable platform. No scandals, no mudslinging, just pure, unadulterated feline charm. This is the future of politics, people. I wonder what the cat's official duties are. Does it have to attend ribbon-cutting ceremonies? Can you imagine Mayor Whiskers trying to cut a ribbon with tiny cat paws? They'd probably have to get him one of those giant pairs of scissors and he'd just bat at it. Or maybe his main duty is just to be adorable and lower everyone's stress levels. If so, I'd say he's probably overachieving, a true public servant. This isn't the first time an animal has held an honorary office, of course. We've seen dogs as mayors, goats as mayors. I think there was even a mule somewhere. But there's something special about a cat mayor. They have that air of quiet authority, that regal indifference that just screams leader. They're not trying too hard, you know, and you either accept their benevolent rule or you get ignored. Classic cat. The residents of this small town in New York clearly have a great sense of humor and a love for their four-legged friends. It's a way to bring the community together to have a bit of fun and, let's be honest, to get some great PR. I bet tourism is up. Come visit our town, meet Mayor Mittens. People would travel for that. I would travel for that. Esmail, book me a ticket. We could do an interview. Mr. Mayor, how do you respond to allegations that you spend too much time sleeping on the job? Mayor purrs contentedly. It makes you think, doesn't it? Maybe we need more animals in politics. They're honest, they're straightforward, mostly about wanting food or attention. And they're definitely cuter than most human politicians. No offense to human politicians, but have you seen a kitten try to climb a curtain? That's charisma. This cat mayor is probably doing a fantastic job of boosting morale and making everyone feel a little bit lighter. So here's to Mayor Whiskers, or whatever his distinguished name may be. May his reign be long and full of catnip, sunny spots, and successful vetoes of anything that involves vacuum cleaners. This story is a delightful reminder that sometimes the best leaders are the ones who don't even know they're leading. They're just being their wonderful furry selves. And in a world full of complicated news, a cat mayor is a breath of fresh, purr-filled air. I hope he has a little mayoral sash and a tiny crown, or at least a very comfortable mayoral bed. The people of this town, you've done well, you've chosen wisely. Now, if only we could get a cat to moderate the next debate. Imagine that. Exactly. Problem solved. Okay, this next story is the kind of thing dreams are made of. It's like something out of National Treasure or The Goonies, but it happened in real life to a regular couple. We're off to California, where a couple doing some home renovations stumbled upon something truly incredible. They didn't just find some old newspapers in the walls or a forgotten teddy bear. Oh no, they found a hidden room, and not just any hidden room, a hidden room filled with antique treasures. Can you imagine? So picture this, you buy a house, maybe it's a bit of a fixer-upper, you decide to knock down a wall or explore that weird crawl space you never quite understood. You're expecting dust, maybe some cobwebs, possibly a startled mouse. What you're expecting is to find a secret portal to the past. This couple, while working on their house, discovered an entire room they never knew existed. A room that had been sealed off, forgotten for who knows how long. My heart is racing just thinking about it. What was in this hidden room, you ask? It wasn't just empty space, it was like a time capsule. Reports say it was filled with antique treasures. We're talking items that could be worth a fortune, or at the very least have incredible historical value. Imagine the moment they broke through and saw it for the first time. The dust motes dancing in the beam of their flashlight, illuminating objects that haven't seen the light of day for decades, maybe even centuries. I'd be screaming, we're rich, or at least this is so cool. Think about the history. Who sealed off this room and why? Was it to protect these treasures during a war? Was it a secret stash from a wealthy eccentric? Was it forgotten after a family tragedy? The stories that room could tell? Every item inside, old photographs, vintage clothing, antique furniture, maybe even lost artwork or jewelry. Each one has a history, a past life. It's like owning your own personal museum. This is way better than finding an old Atari in the attic, folks. The couple must have been absolutely stunned. One minute you're arguing about paint swatches, the next you're Indiana Jones. This is the kind of discovery that changes your life. Not just because of the potential monetary value, but because of the sheer wonder of it all, to literally uncover a piece of hidden history in your own home. That's a story you tell your grandkids and their grandkids. Let me tell you about the time Grandma and I found the secret treasure room. I wonder what kind of antiques they found. Were there old coins, letters from a bygone era? Maybe some Prohibition-era hooch still perfectly preserved? Probably not, but a guy can dream, right? The possibilities are endless and incredibly exciting. They probably had to call in experts, historians, antique appraisers. Hi, yeah, we found a room. You might want to sit down for this. The experts must have been like kids in a candy store. This makes me want to go tap on all the walls in my house. You never know. Maybe there's a hidden vault behind my bookshelf filled with Tonight Show scripts from the 1960s. Okay, probably not, but it's fun to imagine. For this California couple, that fantasy became a reality. They literally hit the jackpot just by deciding to do a little home improvement. Talk about a return on investment. Honey, I know that sledgehammer was expensive, but look what it found us. It's a reminder that there are still secrets out there, hidden beneath the surface of our everyday lives. Sometimes they're in faraway jungles or ancient tombs, and sometimes they're right under your own roof. You just have to look for them, or in this case, accidentally stumble upon them while trying to install a new light fixture. What a find. I hope they take their time going through everything, cataloguing it, learning about its history. This is the ultimate found money scenario, but with an added layer of historical intrigue. It's not just about the cash, it's about the connection to the past, the thrill of discovery. I'm genuinely thrilled for this couple. May their antique treasures bring them joy and maybe a nice little nest egg. And may they never look at a wall the same way again. Always wondering, what if? So, if you're planning any home renovations soon, keep your eyes peeled. You might just find more than old insulation. You might find a piece of history, a forgotten treasure, or at the very least a really good story to tell Esmail for his next video. This is the kind of good news we love to hear, a little bit of magic in the mundane. All right, folks, for our final story tonight, we're heading into the realm of the unexplained, the mysterious, the are we alone kind of stuff. We're going to Nevada. And you know what Nevada is famous for, besides Las Vegas and sagebrush? That's right, Area 51, mysterious lights in the sky and all things extraterrestrial. And this latest report is a doozy. Multiple witnesses have reported a UFO sighting. Dun 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 dun. Now, when I say multiple witnesses, I don't just mean one guy who had a bit too much fun in Vegas and saw some weird reflections. We're talking about several different people in different locations, all describing a similar unexplainable phenomenon in the sky. This isn't just a weather balloon, folks. This isn't swamp gas. This is something that made people stop, look up and say, what in the galaxy is that? I get chills just thinking about it. Imagine you're out in the Nevada desert, maybe stargazing, enjoying the peace and quiet. The sky is vast and full of stars, and then you see it, a light or a series of lights moving in ways that no known aircraft can move. Silent, fast, maybe changing direction on a dime. What goes through your mind? Excitement? Fear? A sudden urge to rewatch Close Encounters of the Third Kind? Probably all of the above. This is the stuff that ufologists live for. The descriptions are always fascinating. Was it disc-shaped? Cigar-shaped? A triangle? Did it glow? Did it hum? Did it abduct any cows? Hopefully not. The cows have been through enough. These witnesses in Nevada are adding their voices to a chorus that's been growing for decades. People all over the world have seen things they can't explain, and Nevada seems to be a particular hotspot. Maybe the aliens just really like the buffets, or maybe they're looking for Elvis. Skeptics will say, oh, it was probably a drone or military exercises or Venus, and yeah, sometimes it is, but sometimes the explanations just don't quite fit. Sometimes the eyewitness accounts are too compelling, too consistent, too weird. These witnesses in Nevada, they're convinced they saw something extraordinary, something not of this world. And who are we to say they didn't? I mean, I host a show where I talk to celebrities, which is sometimes like encountering alien life forms, so I'm open-minded. The government has even started releasing some of its own UFO footage recently, or UAP footage, as they like to call it now. Unidentified aerial phenomena. Sounds a bit more official, doesn't it? But it's the same thing, stuff flying around that we can't identify. So if the government is admitting they've seen weird stuff, maybe these witnesses in Nevada are onto something big. Maybe this is the sighting that finally cracked the whole thing wide open. Probably not, but it's fun to hope. Think about the implications if it aliens. That's a game changer for humanity, right? Suddenly we're not the only kids on the block. We're part of a much larger, much stranger cosmic neighborhood. What would they want? Are they friendly? Do they have good Wi-Fi? These are important questions, people. I hope they come in peace and bring some cool new technology. Maybe a universal translator so I can finally understand what my dog is thinking. For now, it's another intriguing piece of the puzzle, another what if to add to the Nevada lore. The skies over the desert remain a place of mystery and wonder, and as long as people keep looking up and keep reporting what they see, the search for answers will continue. Maybe one day we'll get those answers. Maybe one day a UFO will land right on the White House lawn, or better yet, right here on Esmail's set. Now would be an exclusive interview. So keep your eyes on the skies, folks. You never know what you might see. And if you do see something strange, something unexplainable, pull out your phone, get some footage if you can, and send it our way, because here at Esmail's channel, we believe the truth is out there, and it's probably weirder than we can even imagine. What a way to cap off our strange news roundup. My mind is officially blown. This latest sighting in Nevada just adds fuel to the fire. Are we alone? These witnesses certainly don't think so, and with every new report, every piece of declassified footage, the question gets a little louder, a little more insistent. It makes you wonder what else is out there, just beyond our understanding, waiting to be discovered, or maybe just waiting to say howdy. That's it for this week's Strange News. If you enjoyed these bizarre stories, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more. See you next time. Phew, what a whirlwind, right? From alligators with a taste for lager to snakes in salads, and cat mares ruling with an iron paw or, a soft, fluffy one. And then, of course, hidden treasure rooms and potential visitors from another galaxy. My head is still spinning from all the wonderful weirdness Esmail brought us today. It just goes to show the world is a fantastically strange place, and that's why we love it. Honestly, folks, you can't make this stuff up, or maybe you can, but it wouldn't be half as entertaining as the real deal. Thank you so much for tuning in, for laughing, for gasping, and for scratching your heads along with me. Esmail loves bringing you these updates from the fringes of reality, and your support means the world. Don't forget to hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on the next batch of unbelievable but true tales. Who knows what next week will bring? Maybe a squirrel will rob a bank, or a flock of pigeons will start a boy band. Anything is possible. So, go out there, have a great week, and keep an eye out for the strange and unusual in your own lives. And if you see something, say something, especially if it's hilarious or mind-boggling, then definitely tell Esmail. We're always on the lookout for the next great story. Until then, stay curious, stay safe, and as always, thanks for watching. We'll see you back here real soon for more adventures into the extraordinary. Bye, everybody!